The late afternoon sun streamed through the narrow window of Alex's dorm room, casting long, golden lines across the cluttered floor. Blueprints, small gadgets, and tools were scattered everywhere. A soft hum of electricity filled the air as Alex carefully adjusted a tiny mechanical arm he was building. It wasn't much, just a prototype for a small robotic assistant, but to him it was important. This little invention might solve a problem the Academy had been struggling with for months. Alex's life had always been different. While other human students spent their time socializing or playing holo games, he loved tinkering with machines and figuring out solutions no one else had thought of. At the Galactic Academy of Advanced Sciences, humans were a minority, and most alien students considered them slow, fragile, or even primitive. But Alex didn't care. He had something no alien could replicate: curiosity, creativity, and stubborn courage. He tightened a bolt and stepped back. The robotic arm moved smoothly, picking up a small tool he had placed nearby. Alex smiled. Finally, he whispered to himself, it works. Just then he heard a soft chime. Someone was at the door. Alex frowned. He wasn't expecting anyone. Most students had left for the evening. The common areas were quiet. Hesitating, he said, "Come in," though his voice was cautious. The door slid open slowly. Alex blinked. Standing in the doorway was Zephyr, his alien classmate. Zephyr was of the Thal-Ren species, tall, slender, and covered in shimmering, silvery skin that seemed to shift color depending on the light. Their large, luminescent eyes stared directly at him, wide and unblinking. They froze completely, their long fingers hovering in midair. Alex frowned. Are you okay?" Zephyr didn't speak. They just stood there, motionless, as if time had stopped. Alex tilted his head. He had seen Zephyr in class countless times, calm, polite, even brilliant. But this was something else. Zephyr's entire body was rigid, their usual confidence replaced with shock. Finally, Zephyr's voice came out, trembling slightly. You are human. Here, in your room." Alex raised an eyebrow. "Yes, I'm human. Is that a problem?" Zephyr's eyes darted around the room, taking in the scattered gadgets, glowing screens, and half-finished robots. They seemed almost paralyzed, as if they had never imagined a human could create such intricate machinery. I did not expect this," Alex chuckled softly. "You mean you didn't expect a human to, what, build things? Solve problems?" Zephyr shook their head, words barely forming. "No, not like this. Not this level of intelligence, practical, creativity." Alex smiled. "Well, welcome to my room. You're standing in the middle of it." He stepped aside. "Come in. Don't be afraid. I promise I don't bite." Slowly, Zephyr stepped forward, still wide-eyed, their movements hesitant. Every step seemed cautious, as though their instincts warned them humans were dangerous, yet their curiosity pulled them closer. Alex watched, amused. He had seen aliens freeze before, especially when they faced the unexpected, but never like this. Most aliens thought humans were simple, unremarkable, maybe even weak. But that misunderstanding was exactly what made this moment perfect. Humans had a secret. Underestimating them was always a mistake. Do you always work alone?" Zephyr asked, their voice soft, almost reverent. Alex shrugged. "Most of the time, it's easier, fewer distractions. But sometimes, yeah, it's nice to have company." "Why? Are you judging my mess?" Zephyr shook their head quickly. "No, not judging, merely observing. Trying to understand." Alex leaned on the edge of his desk. "Understand what?" "How humans think, act, create, problem solve, with nothing but their own mind and simple tools." Zephyr's voice trailed off. Their glowing eyes flickered as they studied Alex. Alex laughed, a warm, soft sound. You mean you've never seen a human do this before? Zephyr's silence was answer enough. Their gaze was fixed on the robotic arm, which now carefully lifted a small screw and placed it perfectly into a slot Alex had designed. The precision of it, combined with the simplicity of his methods, seemed to mesmerize Zephyr. You do not follow alien procedures, yet your results are remarkable, Zephyr whispered. Alex's grin widened. I don't follow alien procedures because I don't need to. Humans think differently. We don't always obey rules. We improvise. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But when it does, it's something even aliens like you can't ignore. Zephyr blinked slowly, processing the words. Alex noticed a subtle change in their posture. The stiffness was gone. Curiosity was replacing fear. Zephyr stepped closer, tilting their head as they studied Alex's work. You could teach others this? Zephyr asked. Maybe, Alex replied, shrugging again. But most people don't want to learn. They want the easy way, the rules someone else wrote. I like solving problems myself. Zephyr's eyes narrowed, thoughtful. Yet, you are alone when danger occurs. When challenge appears, you face it, unafraid. Alex raised an eyebrow. You mean like real danger? I don't know. Depends on the danger, I guess. But I try not to panic. He tapped the robotic arm, which now moved with fluid precision. See that? I built this to handle problems. Little by little, piece by piece. Humans do that. We adapt. We survive. We fix things others think are impossible. Zephyr's breath seemed to catch. Adapt, survive, fix, impossible. They repeated the words softly, almost like a mantra. Alex realized they were trying to comprehend human resilience. Something alien inside Zephyr was shifting, a deep respect, maybe even awe. You are different, Zephyr finally said. Humans, they are underestimated, often, yes? Alex leaned back, smiling. Exactly. People think we're weak, slow, fragile. But the truth? We're stubborn, curious, clever. We keep going when others would give up. And sometimes, we even surprise everyone. Zephyr's eyes glowed a little brighter. Yes. Surprise. Yes. There was a brief silence, filled only by the soft hum of Alex's machinery. For the first time, Zephyr seemed relaxed, though their usual poise was replaced with wonder. I did not expect this. From a human, Zephyr said quietly. I thought we, aliens, knew all. Alex shook his head. Nope. Humans are full of surprises. That's why you shouldn't underestimate us. Ever. Zephyr nodded slowly. A smile, small but genuine, curving their lips. Then, perhaps, we could learn from each other? Alex's grin widened. I think that's a great idea, but be warned. I work in my own way. You might find it chaotic. Zephyr chuckled softly, the first sound of amusement Alex had heard from them. Chaotic, yes, yet effective. The conversation paused as Alex's robotic arm moved, picking up a tiny screw and placing it perfectly in a joint. Zephyr watched, utterly fascinated. The alien had never imagined a human could combine creativity, patience, and skill in such a way. You have talent, courage, intelligence, Zephyr whispered. Not like other humans, not like other species. You are remarkable. Alex laughed softly. Thanks. But I'm just me. I do what I have to do. Sometimes that's enough to make a difference. Zephyr's gaze lingered on Alex. For the first time, the alien classmate didn't see a human as fragile, weak, or ordinary. They saw potential, bravery, and brilliance. Something rare and dangerous, something that could change the way aliens saw humans forever. The sun dipped lower, casting longer shadows across the room. Zephyr finally moved closer to the desk, leaning in to observe the blueprints. Then, perhaps, we start now? Alex nodded, eyes sparkling. Yeah. Let's see what happens when a human and a Thalren actually work together. And so, in that small, cluttered room filled with gadgets and half-finished inventions, a quiet understanding formed. The first step in a partnership that could shake the Academy, and maybe even the galaxy, was complete. Little did they know, this chance encounter was just the beginning. The human factor, underestimated by nearly every alien species, was about to prove itself in ways no one could imagine. The next morning, the Academy's halls buzzed with energy. Students from countless worlds hurried between classes, their diverse forms and colors a living tapestry of interstellar culture. Humans were still rare here, and whispers often followed Alex wherever he went. Yet, today, something felt different. Zephyr had appeared beside him at breakfast, moving cautiously but with a noticeable curiosity. "Good morning," Alex said, offering a small smile as they walked down the corridor. Zephyr's silvery skin shimmered faintly in the morning light, their eyes glowing with soft luminescence. "Morning." "Human," Zephyr replied carefully. The title still felt awkward on their tongue, but it carried a hint of respect now. Alex grinned. "You're getting used to calling me human, that's progress." Zephyr's ears twitched slightly, a sign of mild amusement in their species. Progress, yes. Breakfast passed quietly. Alex noticed that Zephyr observed every detail, how he held utensils, how he interacted with other students, even how he sipped his drink. It wasn't invasive, it was careful, scientific, and curious. Zephyr was trying to understand humans better. "You do not eat like other species," Zephyr remarked softly. "You select small portions and taste slowly." Alex laughed. "We like to enjoy our food. Plus, I need my energy for thinking." Zephyr tilted their head. "Thinking, yes. Humans rely on reasoning, creativity, improvisation." Alex's grin widened. "Exactly. That's what makes us interesting." By the time their first class began, Alex noticed something else. Zephyr wasn't avoiding him. In fact, they sat close, watching how he handled assignments, how he interacted with the instructors, and how he solved problems in ways no alien student had attempted. During the science lab, the students were tasked with building energy converters to power a simulated colony module. Most alien students followed strict protocols, checking every measurement, cross-referencing every formula, and waiting for permission before making any adjustments. Alex, on the other hand, grabbed the parts he needed, made some quick calculations, and began building his converter. It wasn't perfect, but it worked. The converter hummed to life, powering the module without error. Several alien students gasped, whispering to each other. Some of them shot Alex curious, skeptical, or annoyed glances. Zephyr watched, eyes wide. "You disregard procedure, yet success." Alex shrugged. "I don't need procedure if I understand the problem. Rules are helpful, but sometimes you have to think for yourself. Humans do that. We improvise." Zephyr's voice was almost a whisper. "Improvise. Adapt. Survive." After class, Zephyr caught up with Alex in the hallway. "Human, your methods, they conflict with what we learn, but they work." Alex smiled. "Sometimes, thinking differently is better than following rules blindly. You should try it. Not everything is written in a manual." Zephyr hesitated. "Yet we are taught procedure, protocol, discipline." Alex leaned against the wall, smiling softly. "Yes, And rules are important. But rules don't cover everything. Life, problems, challenges. They're unpredictable. Humans deal with the unknown by using what we have, thinking fast, and never giving up. That's why humans survive. Why we can do things other species can't. Zephyr absorbed his words, their glowing eyes reflecting a mix of wonder and disbelief. Then, humans, underestimated. Yes, often. Underappreciated. Misunderstood. Exactly, Alex said. And that's why you never underestimate a human. Even if we look small, weak, or ordinary, there's always something inside us that surprises others. The two continued walking toward the dorms, discussing differences between species, learning styles, and problem-solving methods. Alex noticed Zephyr growing more relaxed, more willing to ask questions, and even offer suggestions. It was a slow but steady change. The alien classmate was beginning to see humans not as fragile or primitive, but as capable and resourceful. Later that evening, the Academy sent a message through the campus network. An experimental simulation was scheduled in the training dome. Students were required to navigate a series of unpredictable challenges designed to test intelligence, adaptability, and teamwork. Most alien students groaned. They hated unpredictability. They preferred simulations where every variable was controlled. Alex, however, felt excitement. "This is perfect," he said aloud to himself. Zephyr tilted their head. "Perfect?" Alex grinned. "Yes, this is exactly the kind of challenge humans love. Rules won't save you. You have to think, adapt, and act fast. That's our strength." Zephyr's eyes shimmered. Adapt. Act fast. Survive. Yes. They sounded almost like they were repeating a mantra, as if imprinting Alex's words into memory. In the training dome, the students were dropped into a simulated alien city under attack by an unknown energy source. Holographic walls fell, virtual explosions shook the ground, and simulated citizens called for help. Panic erupted among the alien students. They had never experienced such uncontrolled chaos. Alex, however, stayed calm. He quickly analyzed the scenario, mapping the safest route for the civilians and the fastest way to neutralize the energy source. Zephyr followed his movements closely, noting how he relied not on brute force or advanced technology alone, but on observation, quick thinking, and improvisation. A group of alien students froze when the first holographic explosion hit. Alex dashed forward, moving with precision, pulling them out of the danger zones and directing them where to go. Zephyr was stunned. "You do not hesitate, yet danger. Immense." "Never panic," Alex said simply, guiding another student. "Think fast, move smart. Humans survive because we act when others freeze." Zephyr's gaze followed every motion, eyes wide with admiration. They realized something profound. Humans weren't weak. They were adaptable, courageous, and relentless in a way their species rarely witnessed. Halfway through the simulation, an unexpected challenge appeared. A virtual bridge collapsing over a deep chasm. Alien students hesitated, unsure how to proceed. Alex examined the bridge, then quickly reinforced it with nearby energy rods, creating a safe path. The alien students followed, their trust in him growing. Zephyr, who had observed from behind, whispered softly, "Clever, resourceful, fearless." By the end of the simulation, the virtual city was saved, and all the civilians were rescued. The instructors were impressed, especially by the humans' performance. Other alien students looked on in awe, some with envy, others with newfound respect. Zephyr approached Alex as the simulation ended. "Human, you saved many, and yourself, yes?" Alex grinned, wiping sweat from his forehead. "It wasn't just me. Everyone helped in their own way. But yeah, humans don't panic. We think, adapt, and act. That's what makes the difference." Zephyr's glowing eyes softened. Then humans are not as weak as we thought. They are strong in ways we cannot predict. Alex smiled warmly. Exactly. We might look ordinary, fragile, or slow, but there's more to humans than meets the eye. You've just seen a glimpse of it. The alien classmate nodded slowly, absorbing the lesson. Then I must learn from humans, observe, adapt. Yes. You're welcome to try, Alex said with a wink. But be warned. Humans think fast, act faster, and sometimes we don't follow any rules at all. Zephyr chuckled softly, the sound curious and musical. Then, perhaps, chaos is also valuable. Alex grinned. Sometimes chaos is the only way to survive. Sometimes it's the only way to win. The walk back to their dorms was quiet but comfortable. Zephyr stayed close, their usual rigidity gone, replaced by fascination and respect. For the first time, they didn't see humans as weak, insignificant, or primitive. They saw potential, courage, and brilliance, the kind that could change outcomes no alien species had ever imagined. By the time they reached the dorm, Zephyr stopped and looked at Alex. Human, I wish to understand more. Teach me, yes? Alex's eyes twinkled. I thought you'd never ask. Come on, let's start with something simple. Building your first human-style device. You'll see how we solve problems, our way. And so, in that quiet corridor, an unspoken bond formed. A human and an alien, learning from each other, discovering new strengths, and realizing that understanding was the first step toward something greater. The galaxy might have underestimated humans, but not for long. Zephyr would soon see that human courage, ingenuity, and adaptability were forces that could not be ignored.